Thailand and Cambodia agreed to an immediate, unconditional ceasefire starting midnight as fightings at the disputed border continue. In Hong Kong, residents at the I-Feng Mansions still have to bear with unstable power supply after 2 days of emergency repair. And local fencers Choi and Kaylin Hsieh make a triumphant return after making history for Hong Kong. Good evening, you're watching Cable News, I'm Cheryl Yun. After days of Thailand-Cambodia border conflict, leaders of both countries agreed to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire from midnight following talks in Malaysia. Anna Chan has the story.
Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet and Thailand's acting Prime Minister Pathum Muchiata held talks today at the official residence of Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim in Putrajaya. Chinese and U.S. ambassadors to Malaysia also attended the meeting. Afterwards, the three leaders announced that a ceasefire deal has been reached. Anwar, who chaired the talks as head of the ASEAN regional bloc, said both sides have reached a common understanding to take steps to return to normalcy. Hun expressed deep appreciation to U.S. President Donald Trump for decisive mediation and thanked Beijing for its effort and participation in the process. Meanwhile, Pathum held the outcome of the meeting, adding that Thailand has agreed to a ceasefire that was carried out successfully in good faith by both sides. Armed clashes between Cambodian and Thai soldiers over disputed border areas after a landmine explosion wounded 5 Thai soldiers last week continued on Monday as more than 100 people have been killed or injured. Cambodia said 300,000 people have been displaced on both sides of the conflict. Anna Chan, Cable News.
After 2 nights of emergency power repairs, electricity in 2 of 4 buildings of I-Feng Mansions in To Kwa Wan still remained unstable. Multiple floors and a ground floor restaurant experienced renewed blackouts, believed to be caused by leakage in individual flats tripping circuit breakers. Jeremy Zhu tells us more.
Blocks A and C of I-Feng Mansions reportedly had power restored early this morning. However, some residents who returned after staying in a temporary shelter were once again disappointed to find their electricity still cut off. The owner of a restaurant in the community said power was restored but failed twice afterwards. He demanded compensation from building owners as blackouts ruined Saturday business and spoiled Sunday food supplies. At least 4 floors remained without power into the afternoon, with other residents experiencing intermittent supply. This frustrated resident said she hadn't slept for 2 nights due to the outages. Kowloon City District Councillor Kwan Ho Yeon explained the blackouts were triggered by leakage in specific flats, tripping floor-level circuit breakers, requiring inspections to identify faulty units before restoring full power. CLP Power confirmed Blocks A and C's electrical systems were severely damaged by saltwater flooding. With the site's complex conditions, crews are working at full capacity to restore stable supply. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Shenzhen, a popular weekend destination of Hong Kongers, has reported its first confirmed case of mosquito-borne chikungunya fever imported from Foshan. As of last Saturday, Guangdong has recorded a total of 4,824 chikungunya cases, all classified as mild. More than 3,200 patients have already recovered or been discharged from medical observation. In the past 7 days alone, 2,940 new cases were reported, with the majority concentrated in Foshan. Guangzhou and Zhongshan recorded 22 and 18 cases respectively. The viral disease most commonly transmitted to humans through the bites of infective female Aedes albopictus mosquitoes was first reported in Foshan earlier this month. According to monitoring data, over 56% of Aedes mosquito surveillance sites in Shenzhen failed to meet safety standards. Multiple communities have issued public health notices urging residents to take precautions against mosquito bites. In Thailand, a man shot himself to death after killing 5 people at a Bangkok market. The 61-year-old shooter opened fire near Otokor Market in the Chatuchak district this afternoon. Online video showed the suspect was walking away in a car park with a gun in his hand. The man then turned the gun to himself after killing 5 people. The victims included 1 market vendor and 4 security personnel. According to police reports, the suspect was a former security guard and had previously worked at the same company with the 4 guards who were shot and killed. Authorities are currently investigating the suspect's motive. The United States and European Union have reached a trade deal framework, which would impose a 15% import tariff on most EU goods, averting a damaging transatlantic trade war. Anna Chan has more details.
I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's, I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Following a 40-minute meeting in Scotland, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hailed the agreement with Washington as a huge deal after tough negotiations.
Today's deal creates certainty in uncertain times. It delivers stability and predictability for citizens and businesses on both sides of the Atlantic. This is a deal between the 2 largest economies in the world.
Apart from the 15% baseline duty from most EU exports to US, such as cars and pharmaceuticals, some goods will not attract any tariffs, including aircraft and plane parts, certain chemicals, and some agricultural products. A separate deal of semiconductors may be announced soon. A 50% US tariff on steel and aluminium globally would stay in place as well. Under the terms of the deal, the EU would boost its investment in the US by $600 billion, including that on American military equipment, and spend $715 billion on energy over 3 years, which would help reduce European reliance on Russian power sources, said von der Leyen. Both sides can paint this agreement as something of a victory, despite that this is not as good as the UK's 10% tariff rate, but it's the same as the 15% rate that Japan negotiated last week. Anna Chan, Cable News.
A regional passenger train derailed in southern Germany, killing at least 3 people and seriously injuring others. After the derailment, footage from the scene showed parts of the train carriages lying on their sides in a wooded area. About 100 passengers were on board the train when the accident occurred on Sunday evening near the town of Riedlingen in Baden-Württemberg state, when the train was traveling from the town of Sigmaringen to the city of Ulm. Rescuers were working at the site throughout the night as traffic had been suspended over a 40-kilometer stretch of the route. German media reported that a landslide might have caused the accident as severe storms swept through the region. Authorities were currently investigating the circumstances of the accident, while the German rail operator said the 2 train carriages had derailed for reasons yet unknown. The SAR's export performance last month missed expectations. Official data shows that in June, the value of total exports of goods rose by 11.9% year-on-year to $417.8 billion, slowing by 3.6 percentage points compared to May. The value of total imports of goods increased by 11.1% to $476.7 billion. Meanwhile, a trade deficit of $58.9 billion was recorded. A government spokesperson said, looking ahead, Asian economies, particularly the mainland's steady growth, along with Hong Kong's strengthening trade ties with various markets, should help support merchandise trade performance. However, with global trade policy remaining uncertain, authorities will closely monitor developments and stay vigilant. Fast food chain McDonald's Corporation is offloading 8 of its retail properties in the city, valued at $1.2 billion. The on-sale retail spaces are located in high-footfall districts including Tsim Sha Tsui, Causeway Bay, Mong Kok and Tsuen Wan, with gross areas ranging between 6,800 and 19,000 square feet. All spaces are 100% occupied. Apart from the shops coming with existing leases to the McDonald's restaurants, which will continue to operate, there are also convenience stores, pharmacies, and other retail tenants. Buyers can choose to bid on the entire lot or any individual property. The largest property comprises the ground floor and basement of Star House in Tsim Sha Tsui. McDonald's said in a statement that while the sale is part of its ongoing review to optimize its real estate portfolio, it is fully committed to the Hong Kong market. The tender will close on September 16th. Let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 173 points. Top active stocks of the day, Alibaba was up $2.60, Tencent was up $5. Xiaomi was down 60 cents, Ping An was up $1.90. On to the weather now, mainly cloudy with occasional showers and a few squally thunderstorms. Showers will be heavier in some areas at first. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees tomorrow. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.